My name is Sam. I'm applying for the position of team mentor or youth inclusion mentor with the NCS this summer. Very excited about the idea of it. Welcome, this is my home in Spain. I live here teaching English at the moment, but my plan looking forward is to come back to England and start working with young people on a more permanent basis. But the NCS represents for me a sort of a transition because it's exactly what I want to do, facilitating and working with young people to help them to grow, to help them to empower themselves, to gain self-awareness, to work with their challenges, to work with each other. This really makes, this is sort of the thing that burns for me, the thing that fuels me, right? There's something about this age where the children I work with today, or the adolescents I should say, they're at that moment between they don't want to be treated like children, but they don't want to take the responsibilities of adulthood. And that's a beautiful moment. I love working with it because it provides the opportunity for a really powerful form of mentorship where I can't push them over the edge and I can't pull them over the edge. It's sort of I have to provide a space and provide that space well because it is a skill to provide a space like this where they challenge themselves to move forward, to start taking the steps. And for me, that is it's something that burns for me. It truly is a passion. To talk about skills, and well, I consider myself a good listener, an empathetic listener. I have been for a long time with friends, and it's only in the last year that I've started studying counselling properly. I go to England every month for 4 days of study, and I've really started to develop this a strong capacity to both help someone, especially young people, because that's where I practice a lot of this is with my students, help them to feel understood by me, because that's very important to build that relationship, and then to challenge them lightly within that relationship to question their own beliefs, because that's often what's needed, is for them to open up their mind, which requires dropping some beliefs which are no longer useful or serve. This is particularly helpful, I found, with young people who have problems of behaviour or an emotional variety, right? To move into experience, as you'll see from my cover letter, I worked for I think 6 months at City Gateway and Academy with a range of young people who had anything from sort of particular to very severe emotional or behavioural problems, and I felt that I really thrived there in building relationships, which I probably spent my first months doing, because I think that's probably what is the most important thing at first, and then starting to challenge. In lessons where I'd be with young people who weren't working, who would do nothing in every lesson, to sit with them, yes, to bond, to connect, and then say, what are you doing here? What are we doing? We're sitting here staring at this book. What are we going to do with it? Why aren't we working? And then to work with them, because it's not, in my experience, it was never something as judgmentally put as laziness that would stop a young person from working. Often it was fear. And working with someone with fear, they need to feel accepted, nurtured, encouraged. You might see from all of this, I'm very passionate about this work. And yes, from that experience to the experience I have at the moment working with young people with English, which is about helping them express themselves in a different language, yes. And I use all of the skills I've developed from counselling to improv to build an environment where nothing is just an English test. Every step is, can I express myself in English? Which is a really powerful thing to see. And finally, as an experience, I haven't been on the NCS. I think it started after I had reached past the age limit, but I have been on the ICS, the International Citizen Service, twice. Once as a participant, and the next time as a team leader. So whilst that isn't with young people of this age, certainly it gave me experience of going through a very challenging process of learning and growth, and then leading that process. So that's sort of the skills of both pastorally supporting, facilitating groups, and obviously project management as a whole, I was able to develop through that. That's about all I can say. Around this, there's an hour's worth of things I can say about it, but I hope you give me a shot. I hope to see you at one of your assessment centres and that we can explore this further. Thank you for your time in watching my 5 minutes. And yes, hope to hear from you.